Jaya Srimad Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Grantha Raj ki jai. All glories to Simple Devotees. All glories to Simple Devotees. All glories to Simple Devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So there's no specific verse, no specific program. I just close my eyes and where did you get this jasmine in Toronto? Importing it from Bangalore. I'm from Bangalore.
He also from Bangalore.
Oh, you're from Bangalore?
Yeah.
Which part?
From Jayanagar.
Oh yeah, I'm living in Shyamasundara. Well, this is where Krishna is. I'm not going to go to the... I stuck my finger in here and that's when the verse came out. So we're going to do this verse. I guess I won't just read the verse in Sanskrit. It's a well-known verse. 434. Tad vidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upatejanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. So just that'll be on page 220 if you're using this new Gita. 220. Everybody's got, okay, since everybody's got the book, then we can do it a little bit more. Okay, then repeat after me. Tad Vidi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya Upatekjanti Te Jnaninam Jnaninas Sattva Darshinaha Tad Vidi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya Upatekjanti Te Jnanam Jnaninas Tattvadarshinaha Tad Vidi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya Upadekshanti Te Gnanam Jnaninas Tattvadarshinaha. Others.
Tatvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha.
Tatvidi pranipatena
pariprashnena sevaya
Upadeshyanti te jnanam
Tadvidhi pranipatena Pariprashnena sevaya Upadekshanti te jnanam Jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Tadvidhi pranipatena Pariprashnena sevaya Upadekshanti te jnanam Jnaninas tattvadarshinaha.
Ladies?
Tatvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadeshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha.
Tatvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha.
Please repeat after me. Tat,
Tat.
that knowledge of different sacrifices.
That knowledge of different sacrifices.
Vidhi,
Vidhi.
try to understand.
Try to understand.
Pranipatena,
Pranipatena.
by approaching a spiritual master.
By approaching a spiritual master.
Pariprashnena,
Pariprashnena.
by submissive inquiries.
By submissive inquiries.
Sevaya,
Sevaya.
by the rendering of service.
By the rendering of service.
Upadekshanti,
Upadekshanti.
they will initiate.
They will initiate.
Te,
They.
you,
You.
gnanam,
Gnanam.
into knowledge.
Into knowledge.
Gnaninaha,
Gnaninaha.
the self-realized.
Self-realized.
Tattva,
Tattva.
of the truth.
Of the truth.
Darshinaha,
Darshina.
seers.
Fears.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. Realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. Please repeat after me. Just try
Just try
to learn
to learn
the truth
the truth
by approaching a spiritual master.
by approaching a spiritual master.
Inquire from him
Inquire from him
submissively
submissively
and render service
and render service
unto him.
unto him.
The self-realized souls
The self-realized souls
can impart knowledge
can impart knowledge
unto you
unto you
because they have seen
because they have seen
the truth.
the truth.
So this is one of the more important, well, there aren't any unimportant verses in the Bhagavad Gita, but this is, comparatively speaking, this is a very important verse. Because the whole concept of learning the truth is explained. Who you are supposed to learn the truth from. That's why Arjuna approached Krishna in the first place, because he knew that he could understand the truth from Krishna. That only Krishna could dispel his doubts, his ignorance, his doubts, because up to that point, they were just discussing as friends. They were the best of friends. They were cousin brothers. They were very intimate, extremely intimate associates. We were just discussing how that Krishna was such a friend to Arjuna that when, for example, when Abhimanyu was killed, that Arjuna was distraught. So Krishna had to make his bed for him. Like you get sick and your mother makes your bed for him. So Krishna made Arjuna's bed for him. That's the relationship they had. And then Arjuna said, you go and comfort the ladies. They're all very upset that Abhimanyu is dead, so go and comfort Draupadi, his stepmother. Go and comfort Subhadra, his actual mother, and Uttara, his wife. So, then other times, they were very intimate. Arjuna is Krishna is the Hisarthi, right? He's driving the chariot. So that means that when he's driving the chariot, they haven't got time to speak. They have to give directions to Krishna which direction he should go. Arjuna would have to kick him with his foot. Hit him with his foot. You go this direction, go that direction. So that's man is kicking Krishna, and Krishna is accepting the kick. So he's on a very friendly relationship. But to understand the ultimate truth, he had to accept Krishna as a guru. And in that situation, Krishna was sometimes speaking very sternly to him, calling him a fool, and this, anarya jushtam, how is this unmanliness? You're acting like a eunuch. Yes, words which he normally, he might not use, of course, unless they were joking. But here, Krishna is then speaking very strongly, and how if you want to learn the truth, how you have to, you can't learn any truths unless you actually approach a guru, a real guru, a bona fide guru, not a self-made guru from the mystic factory. No, it has to be a real guru. And the whole idea of, because sometimes people think, oh, you become a devotee, and you lose your independence, you become brainwashed, you have to accept everything unquestioningly. Isn't they something they think, but that's not a fact. Questions are asked. The whole Bhagavad Gita, all of the Shastras, it's all questions. But how is the question asked? That's the important thing. Krishna says you have to ask a question submissively. A student will have doubts. It's not that you become a zombie and just do whatever. No, you may have a doubt, you may have a question, but you ask it, but in a certain way, not in a challenging mood. Because the Srimad Bhagavatam is a whole it's a whole series of questions and replies to the questions. And the same thing with the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna has questions, you have questions, we have answers. Arjuna has the questions, and then Krishna has all the answers. I think there was one company, who was it? It was Radio Shack. You have questions, we have answers. So purport by Srila Prabhupada. The path of spiritual realization is undoubtedly difficult. Everything is difficult. Material life is also difficult. Anybody have any doubts about that? The material life is also difficult. You can't get anywhere, whether materially or spiritually, without working hard. Right? Anybody who's successful in life, they have to work very hard, whether it's materially or spiritually. The more successful a person is, the greater tapasya they've done. You can see whether it's materially or spiritually. If they're materially very successful, they did a lot of tapasya. In this life or a previous life, a lot of tapasya was there. You can't get anywhere in life. So if you're going to work hard to try to achieve something, at least you should do it for something which has an eternal effect. Just like they recently had those Olympics. They had those Olympics in Sochi, right? So those when they got on the podium, those Olympic athletes, that means they had spent so many hours, tremendous work that they did to get their 15 minutes of glory for years. And we say 15 minutes of glory because I don't think anybody here knows their names. They were the gold medalists. Nobody knows them. 15 minutes of glory, that's it. All that tremendous work. I remember some friends of mine, they were in the Olympic swimming team. They had to get up every morning and swim for hours, and then they had to go to school. That went on for months and months, years. To that point, then they were qualified to be on the swimming team. What to speak of being a winner or not. So much work. And then in the end, there's no, 15 minutes of glory if you win, and then that's it. So if we're going to put so much work, might as well do it for something which has an eternal effect. Right? Does that make sense? So, like everything else, the path of self-realization is undoubtedly difficult. So we might as well. So the Lord therefore advises us to approach a bona fide spiritual master in the line. It seems to be echoing. Is it echoing a little bit? In the line of disciplic succession from the Lord Himself. Just move it back a bit. So it's very important. Like I live in India. There's so many gurus. This guru and that guru. It seems that under every bush there's another guru. There's they have some factory which is producing them. I'm thinking, They produce them in Korea, or China maybe, and sending them over. But we've heard of the concept Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, right? But there's also another one, SSS, Sampradaya, Shastra, and Siddhanta. Somebody may be a guru, but what Sampradaya are they in? There's only 4 recognized Sampradayas. That's what Prabhupada is talking about in the disciplic succession. So there's 4 if the guru, are they in the right sampradaya? There's 4 sampradayas which we recognize. The Brahma sampradaya, the Rudra sampradaya, the Shri sampradaya, and the Nimbarka, the Kumara sampradaya. These are the only 4 authorized sampradayas. So the person has to come in the proper sampradaya. Otherwise we reject them completely. They just they have no parampara, no sampradaya. So that's the first thing. Okay, so somebody may be in the right sampradaya, but what shastra are they following? Are they following? There could be some bogus person in that sampradaya. Are they reading? The Gospel of Ramakrishna? If they're reading the Gospel of Ramakrishna, then you must immediately reject them. They should be reading Srimad Bhagavatam, or if they're in the Srimad Sampradaya, maybe they're reading Vishnu Purana. Or there's so many. Each sampradaya has. Of course, everybody's going to be studying the Gita, but they may have certain texts which they prefer to read according to that sampradaya. So that's another thing. They should be reading the proper shastras, and then Siddhanta. Somebody could be in the right sampradaya. They might have the right shastra, but they have the wrong conclusion. They totally misunderstood. If they're saying, that everything is one, I am God, you're God, they made a mistake somewhere. They come to the wrong conclusion, the improper siddhanta. So if everything else is right, but then the conclusion is wrong, then there's no benefit. That they made a mistake somewhere. Like if you have a long mathematical calculation, and if at the beginning you subtract it instead of adding, then everything is wrong. So the conclusion has to be very carefully understood. So that's why the disciplic succession is important. It's the chain. It's like, I used to live in a house which was in a mango orchard. So there's a certain process. And somebody climbs up in the tree, and they pass the mango down to the next person. Finally, it gets down to the bottom with no bruises. And if it goes, then it goes to them. They put it in storage until it gets ripe, and then it comes to the market. So it has to be handed down very carefully, so that you don't end up with a damaged product. Right? You get a damaged product, then useless. If it's not, each person doesn't treat it properly, then it's, that's why Krishna says, in due course of time, the succession is broken, and I have to reestablish it. That happens. People, they don't take their duties seriously enough. Sometimes we think, because in ISKCON there's, various gurus and things like that, we think that it's that person's responsibility to teach the message. But that's not true. Everybody who's initiated is responsible. That is the duty. It's not like I can sit back, I'm not an initiating guru, I can just sit back and relax. No. You may not be initiating guru, but you could be a shiksha guru to somebody. That's even more important. And what are those 2 verses in Chaitanya Charitamrita? For example, when Lord Chaitanya was speaking with Ramananda Roy, no matter what your position is, you could just speak about Krishna. I can't remember exactly the Bengali. Do you know? Yeah. So does that mean that then Ramananda Roy gave him diksha? No, he gave him shiksha. And then when he met that Brahmin, and the Brahmin wanted to follow him, Lord Chaitanya said, no, wherever you go, you just speak Krishna Upadesh. He didn't say you get initiated. He says you're giving people shiksha. Shiksha is more important than diksha, actually, because we're actually a shiksha sampradaya, not a diksha sampradaya. Diksha is there, but you see in the 32 people who are mentioned at the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, those are the shiksha, shiksha gurus. You won't see the diksha guru of Bhaktivinoda Thakur in there. His name is not mentioned. You don't even know who. Do you know who Bhaktivinoda Thakur's diksha guru is? Do you know? No. Nobody knows because his name is not in there. You will not find the name of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Diksha Guru anywhere in Prabhupada's books. He's left out because he's considered unimportant. Because actually he wasn't exactly following all the regular principles. Bhaktisiddhanta didn't like him, in other words. That's why his name is not there. So it means each one of us has got the duty to become. We have to learn this knowledge. We have to realize it. We have to become full of knowledge and then be able to pass it on to the next generation. Because if you don't do it, who's going to do it? If you just learn a little bit and then not very careful about it, and then that means it becomes diluted. And the next generation, they won't have the complete knowledge. Each one of us, every member of the Guru Parampara, it's their responsibility to learn this philosophy and to practice it and then teach it to the next person. Not just the Diksha Gurus. Not just them, because they come, they light a fire and then they go. And it's up to, it's then for them, for other people to teach. Because they haven't got the time. It's a huge international organization. Each person has to give, they have to learn. There's this idea thinking, I don't have to take it so seriously because I'm not a Diksha Guru. I'm not a guru. But everyone actually is a guru. Everything you do, people watch. If you're going to be a devotee, that means you have to come up to that standard. And it's a very serious responsibility. Very serious. We don't know how serious it is. I didn't realize it. When I realized how serious it was almost this. It's frightening. Because when we take initiation, we have that responsibility. We are now in that chain. So do we want to be a weak link in the chain, or do we want to be a strong link in the chain, or do we want to be a broken link? Like the electric current. If the wire gets frayed and it can't, only a little bit of current can get through. Sometimes a little juice, sometimes it's on, sometimes it's off. Not the whole message is coming through, or it breaks and no electricity is going through. So we have to decide: what are we going to be like? Are we going to be? Do we want to be known in history as the ones who dropped the ball? That Krishna is talking about us when he says, in due course of time, that the cyclic succession was broken. Do you want him to be thinking, in his mind, it was you. you're the one who was that. You did it. I'm pointing at the ladies today, but I hit the mic if I. But all of us, men, women. There's a Sri Sampradaya. The head of the Sampradaya is a lady, Lakshmi Devi. So everybody can be, it's our responsibility to take it seriously. Because it's literally a matter of life and death. Because you make a mistake in spiritual life, you have to take birth again. So it's literally a matter of life and death. Because after death, we don't want to have to take birth again. I was just thinking that if suppose you were arrested, suppose you got captured by some dacoits or something like that, and they hear you chanting Hare Krishna, and they tease you, you think your God is going to save you from death. You say, no. I'm going to die anyway, whether you kill me. I want to be saved from rebirth. That's my. I'm chanting to be saved from being born again. Not death is certain. It's not whether you kill me or somebody else kills me, or I die from eating too many strawberries, whatever. I'm going to die. But being reborn, that's optional. That's optional. I want to be safe in being reborn. If we make a mistake in spiritual life, it's a razor's edge. Spiritual life is a razor's edge. One slip, ladies might not notice, but men, when we're shaving like I did today, I slipped and there was a cut. Blood is there. So we make a slip in spiritual life and we have to take birth again. No one can be a bona fide spiritual master without following this principle of disciplic succession. Okay, let's see. The Lord therefore advised to approach, okay. The Lord is the original spiritual master, and the person in the disciplic succession can convey the message of the Lord as it is to his disciple. Right, so Krishna is the original guru. Then he had 4 original students. What? Brahma, Lakshmi Devi, Rudra, and 4 Kumar brothers. So that's sort of like 7 students, 4 in one group. And then from there, the whole disciplic succession is there. And the good thing about the Vedic concept, it's sort of like the internet, in the sense that there's no, unlike in the Catholic Church where there's the one person who's in charge, the disciplic succession can have many branches, and each branch continues the lineage. So even if, out of 10 branches, 9 get cut off, 1 can continue on, then that from there can sprout out. Like that. As long as they don't all get cut off, it can continue on. So it's like the internet. If one route doesn't work, then there's so many other routes it goes like that. So that's the beauty, that it has a very strong survival rate, as long as the members in the disciplic succession are committed. They're strong, they're committed, they're knowledgeable, they're determined and they're dedicated. Just like Srila Prabhupada. He came to North America at the age of 70 because he had not yet fulfilled the order of his guru. And he was determined that, no matter what, he was going to at least die trying. Because he took that, he was given an order. He has to, and the duty of the disciple to fulfill that order, no matter what. So Prabhupada took that. If he had not done it, we wouldn't be sitting here today. He had 2 or 3 heart attacks, he got a stroke, so many austerities, so many difficulties. Because as Bhaktisiddhanta said in the introduction of Srimad Bhagavatam 11:23, the song of the Avanti Brahmana, that as soon as one takes up spiritual life, that your path becomes strewn with thorns. It doesn't become, not petals, not rose petals, the thorns. There will be difficulties. As soon as you decide to take up spiritual life, guaranteed difficulties. Because Krishna wants to see if you're serious. He doesn't want any lame, he doesn't want any, weekend warriors. He wants people who are really serious. And he tests. So many tests will be there to see if this person is serious. And the tests get bigger. They don't get smaller. Because the more experienced you become, then the bigger the test is. Because the Avanti Brahmana, he had, everything was taken from him. His house was burnt down, his wealth was all gone, his relatives rejected him, and he was just thinking and thinking how all this possible stuff could have gone wrong. And he thought, he eventually realized, Krishna must be blessing. He's taken everything away from me. Now all he has left is just the remnants of his prarabdha karma. If I can just tolerate that, then I'll go back to God. He's not going to create any new karma. So then so many things happened. He was, Gundas would beat him, or they would, urinate on him, or urinate in his food, all kinds of things, just to tease him. And he just tolerated it all because he knew, this will pass. This is only temporary. And when it's over, I go back to God. So he just tolerated these things. Because it's just temporary. But I'm not this body. This world is all temporary. I want to go to an eternal place. Now imagine, just an example, there was like a very cold winter, right? Very cold winter. Now if you had to stay here for long, and it sounds horrible, right? But if you knew, but tomorrow you're going to be taking a plane back to India where it's, 35 degrees. Warm. It'll be a lot easier to tolerate that freezing night. Because you only have one night to tolerate. And I'm going to take in the plane in the morning, and you're going to be wearing your Indian clothes. You're not going to be wearing your, big parka. You're not gonna be wearing your big mudlarks. You're gonna be wearing sandals because you're getting on the plane. You're going to India. You could tolerate it because you know you're not gonna. It's the same cold weather that it was last week. It didn't change. It'll be the same cold weather. It'll be a month later. But you know you're going to be leaving. You can tolerate it a lot easier, right? It's a lot easier to fast if the fridge is full than if the fridge is empty, isn't it? Because you know if you get hungry, you can always go to the fridge. So he tolerated all those things because that's the nature. When only the Prarabdha karma is left, no new karma is being made, and all the Arabdha karma is used up. You just have to tolerate those last remnants and not react. No one can be spiritually realized by manufacturing his own process, as is the fashion of the foolish pretenders. Do anybody here listen to Prabhupada lectures? Prabhupada recordings? One? Only? Two? Three? Four? That's not good. Srila Prabhupada is the founder Acharya of ISKCON. And he is my Diksha Guru, but he's everybody's Shiksha Guru. Right? Everybody's Shiksha Guru. Is that correct? Yeah. Mataji? Is that correct? You. Is Prabhupada your Shiksha Guru? Yes. But are you taking his Shiksha?
Sorry?
If he's your Shiksha Guru, it means you should be getting his Shiksha.
Right.
That means you should be listening to his lectures.
Right.
Otherwise, he's only in name only. So they have all Prabhupada's, actually more and more coming out. Just recently, they published 2 years, 77 and 76, of newly published lectures. Significant increase. Previously, I remember seeing that to May 1976. Previously, there were 6 recorded conversations from May of 1976. Now there's 60. Huge increase. So you should be listening to all of these all the time. So why do I mention that? Because it says here, Srila Prabhupada is talking about no one can be spiritually realized by manufacturing his own process, as is the fashion of the foolish pretenders. So there's a whole series of conversations where Srila Prabhupada is talking about. There's this one personality called, what's his name now? He claimed, he was a young person from India claiming to be Krishna, Maharajji, that's right. He claimed to be an incarnation of Krishna. But devotees would insult him and challenge him and throw pies in his face and things like that, and probably just ridicule him. Because how can he be? He's just a chubby Indian guy, about 30 years old, claiming to be Krishna. Prabhupada that's why he says, they're foolish pretenders. That's how some devotees saw him at a restaurant in Fiji, drinking beer and eating shrimp, all kinds, with his date, like that. So there's all kinds of, and Prabhupada would often be inquired because there was an invasion of the United States by all these swamis. And so the different media people would ask Srila Prabhupada about these questions. I have nothing to do with them. Why are you asking me? I have nothing to do. I only know about Krishna like that. He, Sai Baba and all these different persons. So many foolish pretenders. The Bhagavatam 6.3.19 says, Dharman tu shakshat bhagavat pranitam. The path of religion is directly enunciated by the Lord. Therefore, mental speculation or dry arguments cannot help lead one to the right path. Nor by independent study of books of knowledge can one progress in spiritual life. Actually, there's one quote, I think, by Chanakya Pandit. that a person, a so-called pundit who studies by himself does not get any glory. This is like a woman who's not married who's pregnant. An unmarried pregnant woman doesn't get any glory, you know. So somebody who studies without a guru is like an unmarried pregnant woman. So getting back to this idea that Srila Prabhupada is our Shiksha Guru, it's vitally important that all members of ISKCON regularly not just read his book, we should also be reading his books, that's very important, but to regularly, as much as possible, listen to Srila Prabhupada's recordings. Because then we will develop a personal relationship with him. Who can tell me, why did Rukmini, how did Rukmini fall in love with Krishna? Who can tell me? Did she meet Krishna? Huh? Did she hear him? Did she hear him give some lecture or something? Did she see him in battle or something? She just heard about him. She fell in love with him. So you listen to Srila Prabhupada's lectures and his conversations, and you will fall in love with Srila Prabhupada. Guaranteed. And he is the representative of Srila Krishna. That's one thing. Another thing is, since he is the founder Acharya of ISKCON, how will you know if your own guru is following Srila Prabhupada unless you know what Srila Prabhupada is saying? Right? That's been a problem in the past. Some gurus, they fell down, they deviated. And the disciples stayed with because they didn't know what the real program was. Because they never listened to Prabhupada's lectures. They never read Prabhupada's books. They just thought this person is correct. But you won't know if your guru is following unless you know what the program is. Unless you know what Prabhupada's mission is, what Prabhupada's teachings are. Then you should follow. Then if your guru is following Prabhupada, then you follow. If they stop following, you stop following that person. Does that make sense? We have to do that because historically in ISKCON these things happen. Not just in ISKCON. Krishna himself, like I just said, he said himself early in his chapter, in due course of time, the disciplic succession gets broken. It's not like only an ISKCON phenomenon. It's throughout history. Throughout history. It's not like, oh, ISKCON couldn't keep it together. No. Historically this has happened. Because it's the nature of the material world. People deviate. But because, everybody has to fly their own airplane. Prabhupada, I just heard Srila Prabhupada say that. In a formation of airplanes, nobody else, when you're flying an airplane, nobody else in the other airplanes can help you. They can't help you. You have to fly your own airplane. The ground control, they may give you some instructions, but you have to fly that airplane yourself, and you have to get to the destination. So therefore it's your responsibility to make sure that you're going in the right direction by knowing what the teachings of Srila Prabhupada is. He is the Shiksha Guru for everyone. So you have to take Shiksha from him. And that way you'll know you'll know who's who then. Who's following Prabhupada and who's not following Prabhupada. If you're not initiated yet, then you can see to choose who your guru is, who is following the mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada. And if by some misfortune, or possibly when you were initiated, your guru was following the mood and mission, but now is no longer, then you would just take Shiksha from Srila Prabhupada and pray for that person. Because it's happened in the past. And most likely will happen in the future. So but it's your spiritual life, and mine also, it's your spiritual life which is in jeopardy if you don't take this instruction properly. You are responsible for yourself. you have to fly your own airplane, as Srila Prabhupada said. Oh, I didn't notice that we have some deities here. One has to approach a bona fide spiritual master to receive the knowledge. Such a spiritual master should be accepted in full surrender, and one should serve the spiritual master like a menial servant, without false prestige. Even Krishna, when he was in the ashram of Sandipani Muni, he did very menial service. He and Sudama Vipra, they were going in the forest, collecting firewood. All the kings, everybody, the kings, that's how Drona and Maharaj Drupad, they were both in the same Gurukul. One was a king, the son of a king, one was a Brahmin. Both in the same Gurukul. That's how they became friends. So the king's sons were, sweeping the ashram. They were cleaning it. They were tending the cows of their guru. Whatever the guru said to do, they should do it. There's one, at the beginning of the Mahabharata, there's a very interesting incident which explains how dedicated the disciple must be to his guru. There was one guru who had 3 disciples. So he was instructing his disciples, and then news came that some water broke through the field and it was flooding the guru's crops. So he told one disciple, go and fix that. Go and take care of that. And the disciple left. And he didn't hear from him again. The next morning in the class, he says, where's that devotee? He says, well, he's still out there. So the guru went out with his disciples, and they're looking and calling his name. And then after they hear the sound, I'm over here. And then they look, and there's a devotee laying in the ditch with his body blocking the water from flooding the spiritual master's field. But the spiritual master was so pleased with his disciple that he went to such a length, and he must have been, you graduated already. The Vedas will appear in your heart. You can go home. You have pleased me so much. Yasya deve paradeva. I just forgot now. Anyway, the purport being is that to that person who has complete faith in Guru and in Krishna, then the import of the Vedas become revealed. So he had such faith in his Guru that he, put his body in the way of the water, that his Guru blessed him. So then he had another disciple who he noticed that this other disciple, because the disciple is supposed to go out and collect alms, right? And getting food and come back and bring it to the guru. But then he noticed that his disciple was kind of chubby, because he's supposed to give it to the guru, and the guru says you can go eat. But this disciple was kind of on the chubby side. He's kind of says, "How come you're so stout? Where are you getting?" He says, "Well, after I beg the person to give it to you, I go out and beg again, and I eat everything." According to Manu, this is not correct. You shouldn't. First of all, you shouldn't go out twice. And whatever you do, you're supposed to give it to me. That's the law. He says, "Okay, I'm sorry. He apologized, and I won't do it again." And he didn't. He didn't do it again, because once he was corrected, he didn't do it again. Then the guru made him take charge of his cows, and he still noticed that you're still looking kind of stout. Like what are you doing? He said, "Well, I drink the milk." He said, those are my cows. You can't do that. That's against the law. You're stealing from me. According to Manu, everything belongs to the Guru's property. Here, says, "Oh, I'm sorry. I won't do that again." And because he just didn't know. He didn't do it again. But then the Guru was noticing he's still chubby. What are you doing? How come? Where are you getting food from? He says, well, after the calves, they drink the milk, and sometimes they regurgitate this foam. So I eat that. The Guru said, those calves are just feeling sorry for you. They need that. No, don't do that. So he didn't do that. Then one day the Guru didn't see his disciple anymore. They went, where is that disciple? So they went looking, calling. See, what happened is, in the minute he got very hungry, and his Guru wasn't calling him to eat, and he told him not to go beg. So then he got so hungry that he was eating the leaves of the arka tree. And the leaves of the arka tree are so. One of the reactions is the alkaloids. They make you blind. So he became blind, and while he was walking around in the jungle, he fell in a hole. And he was in the hole, and he was stuck in the hole because he fell in the hole and he's blind. So that's why he couldn't go back. And his Guru was looking for him, and finally, then from down the hole, he calls his attention. He says, "What are you doing down there?" And then the whole explanation, He says, well, what you should do is, you should chant the mantra I taught you from the Rig Veda for call the Ashwini Kumars, and they'll cure you. You know who the Ashwini Kumars are? The Ashwini Kumars are expert. They're the physicians of the Devas. They are experts in Ayurveda. So then you call them, and they will cure you. So then he chanted mantras, like that. The Ashwini Kumars appeared from him, and they explained the whole situation, and they gave him a cake. You eat this cake, and you will be cured. And he said, well, did my Guru say I could eat that? Yeah, give it to my Guru first. No. It's okay. You just take this. No. Did you offered it to my Guru first? And then, no. They were pushing. He said, no. Unless my Guru takes it and said, I eat it, I'm not going to take it. So then both the Guru was very pleased, and also the Ashwini Kumars are very pleased that he would prefer to be blind than to take something that his Guru didn't say he should eat, because his Guru had not told him to eat. So his Guru was so pleased that his disciple was so dedicated to him that he preferred blindness to disobeying his Guru. That his Guru was so happy. He says, you please take that, you recover your vision, and I bless you, you will have complete knowledge of the Vedas, you can go home now. Because the Vedas will appear in your heart. He didn't have to do more study. The main thing is he satisfied his Guru. That's all we really have to do, is to satisfy our Guru. Actually, one time Harishari told me how he was present when he heard that, when Srila Prabhupada heard that Bhakti Vilas Tirtha Maharaj died. Bhakti Vilas Tirtha was head of one of the factions of the Gaudiya Math. And he didn't like Prabhupada much. They were not friendly, you could say. He actually tried to obstruct most of anything Srila Prabhupada did. But Srila Prabhupada said he went back to Godhead. Now that was kind of a surprising thing, because you would thought he would be a Nimaka, but I said no. Because he pleased Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, because he was one of the main helpers of Bhakti Siddhanta in establishing the Gaudiya, he went back to Godhead. Then he turned to Harishari and said, you are making more spiritual advancement than you can even realize. We think we're doing, because we sort of sometimes take things for granted. Like, how many times have you eaten Mahaprasadam? Just taking some Mahaprasadam has very powerful spiritual benefits. But we eat so much we don't even notice it. We don't chant it. We don't realize how much spiritual advancement we're making. So if we can please our spiritual master, then in life we've achieved perfection. Because who is the spiritual master? Spiritual master is the representative of Krishna. He is Krishna's representative. So if we can sincerely please the representative of Krishna, then Krishna is pleased. In fact, Krishna is obligated, practically speaking. If if one of Krishna's devotees makes a promise, then Krishna is obligated to make sure that promise. It's like in the case of Lord Brahma, when he gave Hiranyakashipu that vow, that blessing, right? So after Lord Krishna, in the Sringadev killed Hiranyakashipu, he told Lord Brahma, don't give any more such benedictions, okay? He created a lot of trouble because he had to keep his promise intact. That he wouldn't, he wouldn't kill him in the daytime, wouldn't kill him at night, because Lord Brahma gave him that benediction, and Lord Brahma is a devotee and the head of one of the sampradayas. He had to make sure his promise wouldn't be broken. So he's obligated. That's it. Just don't do any more like that, okay? Put me in, it made life a little complicated. That's an important consideration. Satisfaction of the self-realized spiritual master is the secret of advancement in spiritual life. Because the spiritual master is Krishna. He's the representative of Krishna. Shakshat Haritvena. He's the same as Krishna, but not Krishna. He is the ambassador. It's like if the ambassador from China comes to Canada, he is as good as the whole Chinese nation. The Americans, they may be competitive with China, but they would never insult the ambassador of China. That would be practically a declaration of war. So he's a man, he's been invested with that power to represent the whole country. If they were to insult him, the Chinese people would take that as, cause for war. Because he's representing the country. For the spiritual master, he is representing Krishna. He is your link to Krishna. He is your link to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's a living representative of Krishna. So that's the secret. The secret satisfaction. So inquiries and submission constitute the proper combination for spiritual understanding. So we have to make inquiries. It shows the intelligence of the disciple. He asks, like Shukadeva Goswami always congratulated Parikshit Maharaj for his intelligent questions because they stimulated the understanding of Shukadeva Goswami. If the question is intelligent, it makes the guru happy because now he's able to think about Krishna in a more intricate way, and then he has to answer that question. So it's a beautiful exchange, as long as the question is asked very nicely. When should we end it? Am I going too far? It's 8:15. How long we go to? So what time?
Till actually we start the arati at 8.
Oh, we're 15 minutes late already. How about we'll take a few questions?
Yeah.
Then we'll start. A few questions. Any questions? Then we can start the artik. Everybody understood? Everybody going to start listening to Srila Prabhupada lectures and conversations? When I did it back in 1998, in those days it cost $2,000 because all on cassette tapes. Now you can get it practically for free. Just copy it onto your hard drive, it's free. But take advantage, listen. Alright? So we do artik now.
Navastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nami Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Jaya Jaya Nindai Gora Hare Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nindai Gora Hare Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Namaste Narasimhaya, Gala Gala Gadayini, Gala Gala Gadayini, Gala Gala Gadayini, Gala Gala Gadayini. Nata Shri Purvataha, Nata Shri Purvataha, Nata Shri Purvataha, Shila Chandanam Kalayi, Shila Chandanam
Jayom Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Asatadrushi Srimad Divine Grace AC Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Bhakti Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anitral Pravishta Jayom Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Asatadrushi Srimad Divine Grace Bhakti Santa Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Acharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Jamuna Mai Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bharti Devi Ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavatam Grantaraj Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Yugadharma Ki Jai. Advaita Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande.
All glory to assembled devotees. All glory to assembled devotees. All glory to assembled devotees. All glory to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glory to Shri Prabhupada.
Of you to this Friday evening program. We are delighted to again welcome His Grace Shyamasundara Das Prabhu to his program. So for those of you who have joined us late, Prabhu gave a wonderful class today on the 34th verse of the 4th chapter, and thanks to the videographer here, we will have that on YouTube in the next day or two for those of you who have missed the earlier part of this wonderful class. Again, Prabhu, thank you for the enlightening class today. Hare Krishna. And a brief introduction about
Purusham Rishu, I am the ability in man. Krishna said.
Krishna says, I am the ability in man. Hare Krishna. And a little bit about Prabhu. Prabhu is a disciple of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhu has been a student of Vedic astrology since 1977, and Prabhu was given scholarship by the Bhaktivedanta Institute and Bhaktivedanta Book Trust to study Vedic astrology in India. And Prabhu trained for 6 years with recognized pundits of Jyotish, and Prabhu is also an authority in all the main branches of Vedic astrology, Ganita, which is mathematical calculations, Jataka, which is natal, Prashna, Muhurta, and Nimitta. So again, it's a pleasure to have Prabhu at ISKCON Scarborough. So upcoming programs, this is Mother's Day weekend, and tomorrow, which is May 10, 2014, Saturday, there's a special program starting at 6:45 p.m. and a special Mother's Day class will be given by Her Grace Sita Thakurani Devi Dasi. So we encourage all of you to come back again here tomorrow evening at 6:45 p.m. And this Mother's Day weekend will culminate into a grand finale on Sunday. A special Mother's Day class will be given by His Grace Jagannath Mishra Das Prabhu. So he'll be coming from Burlington to give a wonderful class here on Sunday.